found photographs, in particular amateur snapshots, which you find, and if you're over a certain age, you have this is a box of what I collect. These are all found from antique shops. The one I'll talk about later is another friend of mine who collects these and has boxes of them for sale when he exhibits them. Basically, what I really like is that it is tactile photos, and tying in with Jesse, it ties in with things outlive them. Most of these people have probably passed away, but I mean, you look at this picture of this, probably a honeymoon, you can gather through the context of him showing her hand with the ring, the outfits from the onsen or wherever they're visiting, the hotel. There's these kind of these moments which are very, very interesting to me in terms of they repeat throughout different people's lives. When you look through boxes of them, you see people getting, you know, married or in cars. Some like this one are fantastic photographs in their own. You could put Domon Ken or Kimarehe at the bottom and people wouldn't probably know the difference. If so, I could sell it for a lot more than I paid for it. But what I do is I like to find these kind of just, they make you stop and not just think about, like, you know, life or stuff, but there's a really interesting eye. And what I like the most about them is that there are kind of two types. One's a reaction to something happening or a moment being made like this. This is an example of this. I like getting really detailed and figuring out where they are. This is Hibiya Park. And it's interesting to think not just of kind of a sappy sentimental, like, oh, it's a father took a picture of his daughter, but there's something kind of universal in the particular individuality of them. Again, another moment, it's a shared moment. You can see, if you look behind her in the mirror, you can see her husband. I'm assuming it's her wedding day. You've got the bouquet and the veil. I mean, this is a completely beautiful photograph, no matter what standard or whatever you look at. And it is kind of bittersweet that it's just one. This was a slide I was going to talk about how photography isn't a technical thing and sharpness isn't all that, but I only have 20 seconds per slide. But as you can see, these photos probably meant way more to someone than whether the autofocus caught the eye or not. I love the frayed edges, you know, something was important there. Also talked about Instagram too, in terms of how things are competing. This shot's great. I have a whole series of her through her life. Hi, Margot, you're meowing, I'm talking, but it's okay. This is just an awesome picture and I fell in love with her instantly. Just the kind of pose and the kind of understanding that you've got the moment between the person and the person taking the picture. How time keeps going. So you have something immobile, such as the Daibutsu Kamakura, which is pretty photogenic in itself. And these three are just from completely random different sections. It's always there. I mean, I have a picture when I first saw it in 1998. You know, if I go back, I take a picture of it. Look at this. This is just a lot of great stuff happening right here in this picture. And this is probably the local cameraman had a camera. And, you know, kids weren't growing up with 8,000 pictures a day with the iPhone that mom might drop in the toilet later and not be able to get back. I like this picture a lot for that smile. And again, if you can't feel that connection between that moment and the person with the camera, well, I'm sorry, but it's pretty interesting to have something so kind of pure. I think that's one thing I'm looking at. These are just wonderful photographs. It's probably better I don't talk at all, but these moments, and it's not just a Kodak moment or an idea of what we think that should look like, although to get that giraffe lined up that way is pretty lucky. And it actually says in the back, the woman's like, I'm so glad I got a good shot of the giraffe. And I don't know. Again, we talk about things outliving us. All these people are probably long passed away. These are pictures from the 30s through the usually 70s I've got. They do outlive us. And then when they're lost out of the albums or the families that they belong to, it has its own kind of like second life as just a pure image. And we can just assume, like, I really want to know more about this guy or maybe her. And that wall of very similar Polaroid, or not Polaroids, shots in the back. A lot of these are from a friend whose show will be coming up soon. He buys them off of Yahoo auctions in Japan. And just, I mean, I've found two huge albums. I found this in an album I pulled out of a trash, because people throw away things very cleanly. So like you can just find two wrapped up photo albums and take them home. So my friend's collected hundreds of albums and thousands of prints, and he just puts them in a box. Some people say, well, why not find the families? You know, I was gifted an album in America of a Japanese soldiers. And even if you could find the person, there's no guarantee that the family would want it. I don't know. It's a difficult issue. This is my friend's exhibition. He had the boxes, prints were 100 yen each, or you could just magnet them up on the wall and help contribute to the exhibition. Those are the boxes there, which I spent hours going through. And these are actual prints that he had matted and framed. And then it takes it into a different context in terms of out of a shoebox or a scan on the internet. You see the actual images kind of framed in an art kind of perspective, which is it elevates them in a different way. And these were negatives he scanned and then had printed out himself. Again, it's about editing. So he's got several, tens of thousands of these snapshots. And you find some that are just, I don't want to say I'm jealous for taking the picture, but like they're really interesting. And a lot of this interest in found photos has taught me that the greats are great, but like there's lots of really great stuff all over. And you can still find good stuff on Instagram too, but again, you swipe and it's gone forever and you're probably not gonna find it again. I had the wrong hashtag. But there's something here about these, it's almost a desire for evidence that they were here or that this was their child or they bought that sweater. As the photo in the back there is a bunch of girls from the repelling the U.S. Marines in the end of World War II. Those kind of schoolgirl groups they gave bamboo spears to. It's I could write a book on that itself. Thank you. That was way too fast.
John,
yeah,
you did great. It's very, very, very interesting.